Good afternoon, Big Blue Nation. This is Lee with That Kentucky Basketball Chick. It is March 18th, 2025, a beautiful, beautiful but windy day here in Western Kentucky. It's around 70, 75 degrees, somewhere in there right now. Right before my 2-year-old's nap, we went out on the trampoline and jumped and had a big time. It's a very beautiful day. It's kind of windy, though. His hair was going everywhere. But we are here. We're here. March Madness, the NCAA tournament. The first 4 games start today with the first 4 teams. We've got St. Francis, PA versus Alabama State. And then I believe, let me look, I think we have North Carolina next. Let me look. Yeah, North Carolina versus San Diego State. I've had a hard time, which I know these teams don't really count for a bracket, but even just predicting or picking a team to win these. I've looked for analytics. I've looked for predictions from people who know what they're talking about. I've looked because the only team I really know anything about with these 4 is North Carolina, and North Carolina, to me, does not belong in the tournament. I think there was something very shady that happened with that selection committee, considering their AD was the chair this year. So there may be some truth to that. There may not be. I just feel like one of the other teams, like West Virginia, deserved to be in the tournament other than North Carolina. So those are the 2 games tonight. They start at 5:40 p.m. Central Time, 6:40 Eastern Time. I will be watching. The first game I really went back and forth because at first I was picking all underdogs. And these games are so close. The teams are there's not really one that could pull out, before the other. They're just a very close team. And so I don't know. All the analytics and the predictions that I've read, most are going with Alabama State. So that is who I'm going with tonight on that game, purely because they're favored, honestly. And it really comes down to, who's been winning. I know St. Francis, PA went on a run, but I also heard this morning that they have a losing season. So I'm going with Alabama State. I'm going to go with Vegas on this one. The next one is San Diego State versus North Carolina. San Diego State, let's go. That's who I'm planning, who I'm picking. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We need to bump North Carolina out because they don't even belong in the tournament. So those are the my picks for the games coming up. And then tomorrow we have Mount St. Mary's versus American, and then Xavier versus Texas. I'll talk about the Xavier versus Texas game first. I have to go with my SEC school, Texas. They were probably the last one in before North Carolina. And, again, this is a very, very close game on the Vegas odds. Xavier does have a little edge to them, in my opinion. I haven't watched Xavier, but I have watched Texas. And because Texas played Kentucky. Kentucky should have won that game. We basically gave it away at the end, but Texas came out and won. So I think Texas will be able to do that in this game as well. They also won a game in their SEC tournament too. So that's another thing. They're ready to go and they're happy to be in the tournament. The Xavier game, not Xavier, that's Texas. The other game, this Mount St. Mary's versus American. Again, this is a very, very close. I'm looking up the odds right now. This is another very, very close, very, very close game. I'm looking. There it is. American is favored by 2.5 points. So really, these games are going to come down to the end. Maybe, unless somebody gets on a run and they just blow them out, which is very possible. I can't remember who I have. Let me look. I think I have Mount St. Mary's in this one. Let me look. Yes, I have Mount St. Mary's in this one. I have the underdog. So that's what I don't really have a rhyme or reason. I tried to get some takes on it. Everybody's been real split because of how close they are. It's going to be fun. 2 games tonight starts. I'm excited. Everybody's excited. So waiting on that Kentucky game Friday night. Again, they play at 7:10 Eastern time, 6:10 Central time. So we'll be waiting on that game. We still have a few more days to wait for that. We have a full day of tournament, so at least we'll get to watch some tournament before our game and see what happens with us. And like I think last year we were the Thursday, Saturday games. So let's talk a little bit about the bracket. Let's talk about it. So Auburn's the number one seed. No surprise there. Along with Florida, Duke, and Houston. No surprise there. That's exactly who I predicted that it would be. And then we've got Tennessee as a number 2. Let me look and see who else our number 2s are. Should have printed a bracket out. What was I thinking? Just going over to my... See, we've got Michigan State as a number 2, St. John's as a number 2, Tennessee as a number 2, and then I think Alabama as a number 2. I think the committee did good on that, on the seating. I think it's hilarious. The Midwest, that's Kentucky's bracket. Kentucky is a number 3 in that bracket. If we get by Troy, which is who we play, we'll talk about that here in a minute, and then get by whether it be Illinois, Xavier, or Texas, and Tennessee makes it to the Sweet 16, we will meet. It's a big possibility we will meet Tennessee again in the Sweet 16. I hope and pray we make it. Because if we play Tennessee for the 3rd time and beat them, which we can, we're pretty healthy right now, and that is with the understanding that Lamont Butler does not, or anyone does not have an injury in the first 2 rounds, and we make it there. Let's beat Tennessee a 3rd time. I'm all for it. Now, I will say, again, like I said with Alabama, Kentucky, it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. Tennessee will be ready for us. But also, it can be done because Alabama beat us 3 times. And I believe we could beat Tennessee 3 times. I do. So bring it on. That's what I say. I thought Louisville being an 8 seed was insane. I think that what they deserved a higher seed for sure. They're playing Creighton in Rupp. They only have a 45-minute drive. So I think, I don't know who. I think Creighton's going to win that game. That's just me. Because Creighton's really good. They're really good, but Louisville is too. But we'll see what happens. Another interesting and almost laugh. It's very funny. Arkansas is playing Kansas. Arkansas is let's look. They are a 10 seed playing Kansas, the 7 seed. Now, if Arkansas makes it past that game, they will play most likely, because Rick Pitino St. John's is playing Omaha, and as long as they get through Omaha, Arkansas and Rick Pitino will be playing each other. St. John's and Arkansas. So Calaberry versus Rick Pitino. I'm all for it. Bring on the smoke. Bring on the drama. I would love it. It almost looked there for a second that Kentucky would have had the 3-14 in that with Utah State, which would have been funny because that was Coach Pope's first team he coached in college. And then we could play BYU, and then we could play St. John's. But that's too much of a dramatic storyline. They don't go for storylines, so they say. So I think really let's talk about Kentucky and Troy and Kentucky's draw. Kentucky got a really good bracket, I will say. There's a path. There's a very good chance out of the number ones that we may have to play. Houston, I think, would be probably I wouldn't say easy, but more doable than the other three because we played Auburn, we played Florida. I don't know if we could beat Florida again. Auburn, we got killed, and Duke, we beat as well. But I don't know if we could beat them at this point either. But Houston, I think we could have a chance. That is saying that Houston makes it. I like the Troy matchup. I am nervous. I'm very nervous because, last year we got taken out by Oakland. And that Jack Golke picked Kentucky to get beat by Troy. What is up with that? Does he want to be a Kentucky villain for life? Somebody online actually said, I can't take credit for this comment, but they said, isn't it tax time? Doesn't H&R Block need him or something? It was funny. I thought it was funny. But Jack Golke, you're going to be wrong this year, okay? You're just going to be wrong. I don't know. I think we have a very good chance here. They are, from what I understand, they have some turnovers now. They either shoot inside the paint or out at the 3-point line. They don't really do the middle. I think Amari Williams is going to need to have a really, really good game. Everybody's going to need to have a really good game. Let's get past this one. We are a 10.5 point favorite right now, or we were a little bit ago. Let's look now and see where we are. Where are you? Let me look. And so we shouldn't have any problem. 11.5 point favor. We are 11.5 point favor now. So this should not be a problem. It shouldn't. I am hoping for a blowout game. I don't want a close game. I just want to win. I don't want to have a charge the basket with 5 seconds to go again. I want a win, and I want a good win. But yeah, I think part of the nerves is that we've been taken out the first round, 2 out of the last 3 years. And I just don't want to experience that again. I don't want Mark Pope to have that on his record. I want him to get his first NCAA tournament win. And I want these guys to have it. I think they'll be prepared. I do. And it's going to be a good game. I cannot wait till Friday. But having to play, I think we could be a good matchup against Illinois. Obviously, we've played Texas. We should beat Texas this time around. Xavier, I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. We'll get there when we get there. If that is the game we play, we'll know that tomorrow. Or who is the possibility. But I know it's exciting. The anticipation is just killing me. I keep thinking about it. I hear a bunch of people saying Kentucky's going to be the 3 seed that gets upset, just like they've been, the last few years and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think we are. I honestly don't think this is going to be the game. I'm just nervous about it because of our past. It's almost like Cal's given us some PTSD about it. The good news, though, is our coach will have our players prepped on their team. We'll have a scouting report. They'll say, this is what, this is how this guy does things. This is how this guy does things. This is how you're going to have to guard him. This is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get both hands up in the paint. You're going to have to play this way, and this is how it is. So I do have faith in Pope to be able to deliver that. He's a great X's and O's coach. So it's going to be great. As I said, my Cinderella team is going to be Drake. They play Missouri, which is an SEC school as well. I'm still going with Drake. I think they're hyped up. If they get to bring their little bulldog with them, they're going to be real. They're going to be the Cinderella team. McNeese is another team that I've heard really, to watch out for, and High Point. I've heard High Point's really good. So, those are kind of the three teams I'm looking at that could pull some upsets and make some noise out there in this tournament. But I think Drake is the one to possibly make that run. Let's see. What else can we talk about? We've got the bracket. I'm still trying to fill out my actual bracket. I have a bracket that's like a gut bracket from when they announced the tournament on TV, and then I'll have one that's like I'm doing it with my heart, basically picking teams with my heart. I have one with mascots, and then I'll have a for sure one. I've just got to see and get a better feel for some of these teams. But it's tournament time. It's my favorite time, so I'm excited. Thursday, I'll be watching all the games, starting at around 11, and I think Louisville and Creighton have the first game, so that'll be interesting. In Rupp, Auburn's going to Rupp. Auburn, Louisville, and I think, Tennessee is going to Rupp too. That's their first. We're going to Milwaukee. If y'all remember, Coach Pope paid for a bunch of people's ice cream one time after a game. This time over the air on his Mark Pope show yesterday, he offered, if you need gas money, because it's only a 7-hour drive from Lexington, hit him up because he might be able to contribute. And he was like, I may be making a big mistake. And his executive assistant actually during a break showed him a phone, and it had email after email after email after email of people taking him up on that offer. So I don't know if he'll actually, send money to people for that. But if he said it, he's the type of guy to kind of, pony up and do what he says. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does. So we'll see. So Friday night, that's what we're waiting on. I'll probably do one of these before the game after some of these other upsets on Thursday, and we'll go from there. But until then, go Cats!